All right, so I guess China has given up too, or China's youth. It's all over the world, you guys. People realizing that the typical get a job, graduate school, have a family is basically impossible now with the way modern life is. It's just impossible. And like I said in my last video, it's all by design. It's all by design for depopulation and to cause more pain in the world. But anyway, so we're gonna watch this video. It's about yeah, Chinese Gen Z are refusing to work. I don't know how they're doing it, because you need to pay bills. But yeah, let's watch it and see what it's about.
China's youth are staging one of the largest protests in the country's history, and they're doing it from their bedrooms. No working, no marriage, no kids. Just doing the bare minimum to survive. It's a massive silent rebellion against a broken system, and the Chinese government is absolutely terrified. Chinese experts estimate that excluding students, the youth unemployment rate could be as high as 46.5%. That's nearly half of China's youth refusing to or unable to get a job. This is a trend where people are simply choosing to stay home and live stress-free. So why is China's government deeply terrified by this movement and desperately trying to censor it? Because this movement has a very clear intention to force China's government to finally fix their broken system. The movement started in 2021 under the name of Tongping, which means laying flat.
Yeah, it started in 2021. That was during the virus across the world, and China had the biggest uh, difficulties with it, with lockdowns and everything. And I don't know. I've seen videos out there that they lost hundreds of millions of people, and that their population's not what they say it is now. And yeah, I mean, I've dated two girls from China, and they do not want to live in China. They refuse to go back there. They just living there. They say they're nothing. They're just like an ant with millions of people. And they're worth nothing, and they just don't want to live there.
Movement started with a man named Luo Huazhong who made posts documenting his lifestyle. He was unemployed, ate 2 meals a day, and only worked a few days a year when he needed the money. And this post struck a chord with millions, with many others sharing their minimalistic lifestyles online. Tongping was a movement that advocated for having low desire, low ambition, and rejecting consumerist mindsets. It didn't necessarily advocate for being unemployed, but rather a mindset of prioritizing one's own mental health over their boss or job or societal expectations. People who follow this ideology refuse to work overtime and will put off work from their bosses or ask to do it later. The Tongping movement started as a rejection of being a corporate slave, but as the movement grew, people started taking this ideology even further by completely refusing to get a job.
He says he's fine, but he hasn't felt truly focused in years. He calls it burnout, but it's really avoidance.
This led to the rise of the
Burnout. That ad goes perfectly with this video.
ideology of Bailan, which is a more extreme version of Tongping. The term came from basketball slang.
I mean, in this part of the world, a lot of these people are Taoism, Buddhists. I mean, the whole point of those religions is to believe, to not have, believing in materialism is basically against these religions. It's about having no connections to anything and becoming enlightened. And I mean, honestly, I think all these religions are just knockoffs of Christianity. I think these all are based in Christianity and was co-opted by Satanists, but because Christianity and Jesus teaches that too, of not being of this world. Don't worry about this world. You're not of this world. Don't get involved in this world. It's corrupted by Satan. And Buddhism and Taoism is just a twist on that of don't have any connection to materialist things. And this is what these people believe. And so they're kind of living it now. Like, you know what? I don't want to be working some slave job trying to help this company sell this product and working overtime. It goes against the belief of materialism.
Meaning, we've already lost, so might as well just stop trying. Bailan's ideology is a rejection of many things. Don't buy a house or apartment, don't get married or have children, don't pursue a career, and spend the bare minimum to survive. Because why put effort into these things if they're impossible, or involve trading away your freedom or mental health?
Yeah, with the not marrying, dude. Yeah, in Asia, like where I live, even in Southeast Asia, you have to pay the woman's family thousands and thousands of dollars just to marry her. it's watch some of those videos online of like the guy like begging the parents like, no, I'll pay you, I'm sorry, I'll give you 40,000 because the family like upped it up like 10,000 more dollars, and he's like, I can only give you 30,000 right now, please don't take her away. It's wild. I swear, like, a society is everything is set up right now to have no families. And again, that's by design. They don't want families right now. This world does not want families. They want depopulation.
An example of this is how 70,000 graduates in China with master degrees have become food delivery drivers. You know, like DoorDash, but in China. Imagine grinding day and night, going through 18 years of China's brutal school system, just to say this at the last minute because you'd rather deliver pizza on your bike. Many are refusing to get a job and instead becoming full-time children by staying home to cook and clean for their parents to live.
So that's like that where I live too. Everyone's a delivery driver for all the different food apps here. And like, imagine if you're a guy as well. Like, the women see this would be their future and they can't make money, so they're like, okay, I'll just go marry a rich guy. And even the guys are dealing with this, like, sorry, I can only be a food delivery driver. And so they're not going to get married because the women don't want them. And so then they just go towards the older rich guys. And so all the guys then, all the young guys are screwed because they can't get jobs just like the women can't get jobs. And now they're deciding to just, you know what, I'm just going to stay with my mom and dad and just wake up and help them cook and clean. And that's what they do especially in Asia. For women, they just stay with their parents and then cook and clean until they get a rich husband, basically. And then they move in with the rich husband when the rich husband essentially buys her by giving the family thousands of dollars.
Live with them and earn a salary from them. Many are even being called rat people. People who stay in their bedrooms, waking up late in the day, rotting in their bed, doom scrolling for hours, and rarely going outside. Now, bailan doesn't mean quitting working entirely, but rather working only when necessary. This involves low-maintenance jobs like being an online tutor, streamer, content creator, driver, trash collector, etc. And it involves working these jobs for very low hours to make just.
Yeah, there's these videos online, if you haven't seen, there's these Chinese women, they're just like outside on the street streaming on whatever social media platform. It's so crazy. And they all and that's where you get the whole filter thing where they all use these filters to look like this 10 out of 10 Chinese girl when they're not. And then once their face filter glitches, then they lose everything pretty much.
Enough money to survive. Under this lifestyle, some can still afford their basic necessities, but others cannot. Which takes us to the most extreme levels of Tongping, because millions of Chinese people are literally choosing to become home dream levels of Tongping, because millions
Look at this guy right here, how he's laying down, dude.
Millions of Chinese people are literally choosing to become homeless, as they see it as a better fate than becoming a corporate slave. This involves sleeping in internet cafes, restaurants, tents, train stations, or even directly on the street. Now, there's a lot more about.
So do they have a homeless problem? And is that even legal to just hang out in a cafe and sleep there? I don't know, but if you guys watch the outdoor survival videos where these guys literally just go into the woods and they can make a good shelter and you don't need heat because you can just start a fire with unlimited wood because you're in a huge forest, and then you can get food and water from the nearby river and plants and everything and animals. And it really makes you think, like, why are we living like this? Because I think we are designed to live like that. That's why Minecraft was such a big deal, because it hits us back to how we're supposed to live in our minds, our primal instincts. We're supposed to just wake up, all right, let's create some tools, let's add to our shelter, let's go get some food, go hunt some food, let's go boil some water for the day. All that is what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be waking up trying to go work at a company and sell products and all this and pay bills and all this crap that is completely not even a fair design system. You're barely making ends meet. Yeah, go watch those videos, guys. You're gonna watch it and be like, damn, that looks way more enjoyable than what we're doing now.
by land that needs to be said, but first I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, CyberGhost. You might think you're safe using incognito. IT department use CyberGhost. And over users world unlock jobs. One subscription fast deal, that's 80. So click the link reveals that there's 47 days safe on the internet. Now back to the video. Recent government data reveals that there's 47.5 million homeless people in China, with 61% being under 33 years old. If you don't understand just how insane that is, that's equivalent to the entire population of South Korea. And these aren't the addicted, crackhead homeless people we have in the US. These are sane, logical people who did the math and realized that being homeless is better than working and paying rent.
虽然不对，但是它舒适啊。那你赚钱不就是为了过得舒适吗？我发现躺着就挺舒适，那我为啥还要再去赚钱呢？
Now, on a surface level,
Because in America, if you're homeless, you have to worry about like getting mugged or getting attacked. But in China, if you're outside, it's usually safe. You guys would be, if you're from America watching this, I lived in Europe, I live in Southeast Asia now. When you're outside, even at night, it's generally safe. Yeah. And so in China, they can just stay outside and sleep and they're not going to worry about getting attacked. And they just get a tent, invest some money in a tent. And if you need to stay warm, you could start a little fire. It's just the only thing where I don't understand these is where are you gonna go to the bathroom? Where are you gonna brush your teeth, wash your hands? Where are you gonna shower? It's just those three things. Like if you didn't have to worry about hygiene, then just living out in the forest wouldn't be that difficult if you had proper training and education. But these guys, I'm sure they just go into some public place and use the restroom and yeah. I mean, I know people in my life, when they were living in their car, they would just, in the morning, go into the Walmart bathroom and brush their teeth.
these people might seem lazy or guilty of having a loser's mentality, giving up whenever things get hard. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The people who subscribe to the Tongping ideology are actually very hardworking people, or at least they used to be. These are people who tried to make it in the system, who tried to create a good life for themselves by studying hard and going to college and finding a job. But the more they tried, the more they began to realize working harder does not mean attaining more happiness. Every year, the number of college graduates increases in China, but the quantity of new jobs isn't increasing to match this pace. This creates a job market with fierce competition. And in a job market where millions of qualified applicants are competing for fewer positions, the competitive differentiator between applicants isn't about who has more skills or knowledge. It's about who's more willing to work extreme amounts of hours.
Yeah, like my ex in Europe, she was Chinese. Her degree was surface physics. She was basically a scientist, and she got a master's degree, and she was working towards her PhD. And even once she got her PhD, she was saying, if I go back to China with this PhD, I'm still nothing. She said literally, I am shit in China with this PhD. It's because everyone has a master's degree or a PhD. It's nothing special.
Has led to a
So she has to put herself in a market where she is special, which would be where we were at in Europe.
brutal work culture known as 996, rising in prominence in the last decade. Work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. Some employees spend so much time at the office that they end up sleeping there, having their entire lives revolve around their job. 996 is very common in China, with almost all the top tech and internet companies running by it. Millions of young Chinese individuals enter this workforce with the idea that hard work will bring them wealth and status. But the sad reality
Yeah, and even where I live in Asia, they too work six to 7 days a week, especially the people with their own business, which is like most people here, they just sell stuff outside their house. They're open 7 days a week. It's not like America where a lot of people work just 5 days a week. The people here, they work 6 to 7 days and they work most of the day.
is because so many applicants are willing to work extremely hard work is no longer a praiseworthy quality deserving of a promotion, but rather the norm that's expected out of every single employee. This reality has posed an existential question to China's youth. If running faster doesn't get you anywhere, then why run at all? China's youth was supposed to reap the rewards of their hard work. Their hard work was supposed to create a better world for them. But instead, their hard work has only helped the wealthy in China grow even wealthier, while life is only getting worse for the rest of the population.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you're just dumb at this point if you haven't seen it. The whole propaganda of work hard and you'll be successful and everything's fair is a farce. It's just the elites gaining more power and money while the middle class just becomes poorer and poorer. And then they want you to work more and more just so they get more money and you become more and more poor. And people are starting to realize this whole thing is a scam, not just in America, but everywhere.
Believe it or not, I will draw the person you will marry. One of my
Like
clients
this
asked
right
for a
here is-
refund. She thought the man I sketched.
This,
In 19
that ad right there is AI. Even advertisements now that they make and post on YouTube, it's all AI. There's no jobs.
1978, the bottom 50% of China's population earned 27% of China's national income. Today, they earn only 15% of China's national income. China in 1978,
Hang on, so in 1978, let's see what he says.
the bottom 50% of China's population earned 27% of China's national income. Today, they earn only 15% of China's national income. Why? Because the wealthy elite are taking more of this income for themselves. Housing prices are sky high while salaries have remained low. More and more workers are being laid off because they simply aren't needed anymore. Many companies are even decreasing their wages because they have so many workers readily available to them. This is the nation that the youth's hard work has created, so why continue working hard if their hard work will only contribute more to this inequality? Now, if this was any other country, the youth would have done the obvious thing: protest, rebel.
Nah, I don't know about that. I think most protests in the world are funded and started and organized through government agencies. Like the Epstein files that came out, where were the protests for that? I didn't see any. You would think there'd be protests all around the world. Not even protests, but riots. Nothing. But any little other protest of anything, of some issue that has to cause division, like race issues or anything like this, gender issues, there'll be protests everywhere.
Speak out against this cruel system. In Western democracies, the youth can vote for the changes they want to see be done. But
Oh yeah, see, this guy's still under this guy's still under the veil. Yeah, voting isn't real. Voting does not. Oh my God, you can't vote. You can't vote this away. Voting isn't gonna fix this, because you can vote in America, it still hasn't fixed it. You can vote in Europe, it still hasn't fixed it. You can vote in the UK, it still hasn't fixed it. Things have gotten worse. Voting is just a front to make the population think that they could fix it through voting, so that they don't resort to violence and rebellion. Voting won't fix this. See, even he is still a little bit asleep here.
not in China. There's no voting in China. Any attempt of criticizing the system will result in getting censored. Public protests rarely go anywhere because they always get silenced by law enforcement and often end in violence. Because of this, China's youth really only has one option: Tongping, to lie flat and refuse to cooperate with this corrupt system. It's a non-violent, quiet, hidden protest with a message that speaks louder than any banner, riot, or march. If you don't fix the system, we're not working. And this movement is only growing larger and larger every year, with more people joining the movement by lying flat, and more influencers and content creators bringing attention to this movement. So how
But these people don't care. That's what they want. They'll just replace them with AI. They're going to be a salary man. We'll just replace them with AI. It doesn't matter. The businessmen, and I even looked at the comments of this video, they're saying, yeah, the corporations are getting mad now at this. No one's getting married. No one's wanting to work. That's what they want. They don't want people to get married. They don't care if you work. They just replace you with AI.
is China's government reacting to this? Well, they're absolutely horrified. The CCP needs a motivated, productive workforce in order to reach their nation's goals, but the Tongping movement is preventing that vision from happening.
Now, it might be a little bit different in China, because I did see a thing where, because their population is going down, and it's not 1.2 billion people, the Chinese population is similar to America's population. If you think of the one-child policy, and, the one-child policy that lasted like 40 years or 50 years, and the COVID deaths, dude, China's population is not what they say it is, and it's like America, no one's getting married or having kids, and China just came out with a law I saw that said that it's basically suppressing or making illegal drama shows, like soap opera drama shows for women, because it's making the Chinese women basically like divas and not getting with men and getting married and having kids. It's making these Chinese women just play games and just date around, and then they become left behind women after 25, and then they can't have kids basically.
As a result, China's government is doing whatever they can to stop the movement. The terms Tangping and Bailan, along with many other terms associated with the movement, have been completely erased from social media platforms. Any video that mentions these phrases is made invisible to the public. Many online discussion groups centered around these topics have also been shut down by China's government. But this attempt to hide the movement only made people angrier and didn't really stop anything, as people are still continuing to post about the movement by using euphemisms and alternative words to convey the same message. Many government-run news outlets are trying to stop the movement by shaming it. One news reporter said something along the lines of, "We understand that you're frustrated, but we don't care, so stop laying flat."
但吐槽归吐槽，苦恼归苦恼，认命可以，躺平却不行。
Articles are being published by
归苦恼，认命可
You may accept your fate, but laying flat is unacceptable.
以，躺平却不行。
I'm not shocked a newscaster is saying this. I mean, I've seen many videos on Facebook where these are actually lizard people. I mean, even using this word, you may accept your fate. I wouldn't be shocked if she's a lizard. A reptilian overlord.
Articles are being published by the government condemning the movement by calling it shameful and harmful to China. One post by the Communist Youth League wrote, "China's youth has never chosen to lay flat." The government's reaction to this movement is very telling. It means that they know this movement is succeeding, and they're very afraid of what could happen if this continues. Not only is China's government shaming the Tangping movement, but Chinese boomers and Gen X are also speaking out against it, calling it a negative influence on people and society. They call the neo
Oh, of course. So they have the same issue with the boomers, huh? Who got all the real estate, all the money, and now they think, yeah, I'm not, you guys already know about the boomers.
generations weak, lazy, and selfish, talking about how newer generations don't have the same drive, work ethic, and desire for improvement that older generations did. But what these people don't realize
So I'm not going to go completely against the older generation. They are right in a lot of sense. Like if you've met kids nowadays, people who are just younger, especially kids in their teens, you look at them and you're like, that guy does not know what hard work is, and he probably will never actually do any hard work. Like a few videos ago, I had a Japanese protest, and you see everyone in the crowd who's in their 20s or teens, and like the stuff they're wearing, it's like, what the heck? And it's like, yeah, these guys are never going to work hard ever. And so they are right. There are a lot of kids out there that are just lazy. And a lot of it's the parents' fault. Like where I'm at in Asia, the parents, dude, they let their kids do anything they want. They don't discipline them. They don't show them how to be hardworking. They just give them everything. They let them have bad behavior. It's just, they are right. A lot of the younger population is just not good.
is that Gen Z is living in a completely different world than what the older generations experienced. Older generations experienced a world of blooming opportunities and the chance to succeed. They grew up in a world where hard work actually meant something. Their hard work allowed them to find a good job, climb the corporate ladder, gain promotions, and earn good wages. Marriage and buying a house and raising children was actually an option for them. Sadly, that is not the same world as today. The older generations and government can keep telling the youth to stop laying flats, but these are just empty phrases that don't mean anything. Telling China's youth to stop laying flat is like telling a homeless man to just go buy a house. Despite all their efforts, China's government will not be able to stop the Tangping movement. The only way to solve this problem is for them to fix their broken system. China's government is going to have to abolish 996 culture, not just pass laws against it, but to hold companies accountable for any form of unpaid overtime. They need to make life easier for the youth, like lowering apartment prices and increasing wages, so people actually have something to work towards instead of working their lives away without any purpose. This isn't some sort of outrageous goal, as there are hundreds of millions of apartments empty in China waiting to be filled. And China's growing economy should allow higher wages.
Yeah, I know those empty apartments. I think the way China does it is the people will buy these apartments or buy apartments that are being developed, but they won't move into them. They just buy them and just hold on to them for future use.
Until then, more and more people are going to lay flat. If you like this video, I made a similar video about why Gen Z is rejecting corporate jobs that you can click right here. Don't forget to click the link in the description to get that.
Yeah, good video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. It's like this all over the world where the system is basically becoming impossible to live in this system. Even in Asia, just like in the West. Yeah, comment down below if you guys have any comments, and I'll see you in the next one.